Képi Blanc March. The Képi Blanc March. That white hat you see in that picture, that's the Képi Blanc, right? That has a powerful meaning in the French Foreign Legion. And you'll see that same shape of hat in a lot of the French armed services. Even the police use it, the gendarmes use it. Firefighters, man, they have that shape. And the French Foreign Legion has that white cap. Now, what's the history on that? First of all, where am I at? Butte, Montana, man. Butte, Montana. We just finished a long road trip, got the girls in the hotel, and man, I got to drop the camera down, hit this TCAV TV, man. There no excuses. And driving up here, man, it's all cloudy, rolling through the mountains, and it got me reminiscing because that was the weather 6 years ago today when this video uploads. Was when I was knocking on the door of the Foreign Legion. It just got me thinking, and when it was raining and cloudy and how it was during that time, and people that have been to France in that area, that southern French area know, and then even in the French Pyrenees where I'm about to talk about, where the farm is for the Foreign Legion, bro, it's dark, cloudy, a little cold, very similar to up here in Montana. So I was thinking about the Képi Blanc, and that hat, that was from some old Algerian, when in the French Foreign Legion was marching through Algeria, the March au Crève, the March or Die, which was the guys would march kilometers and kilometers and kilometers, and guys who would straggle in the back would get picked off by the Algerian bandits and outlaws and just rebel groups and all that. So it was March or Die. If you don't march, you're going to end up getting picked off. And they were out in the desert for so long, they had like a tan cap, but it would get bleached white. And so they saw the French Foreign Legion would have this white cap. It became a thing, and now it's a thing. And now that's a hat. That's a pain in the ass to keep clean too. The Képi Blanc. And when do you get the Képi? So I've talked about the farm a little bit on this TCAV TV, but when you finish the farm, it's the culminating event. That's like that month-long kick in the nuts. After your pre-selection and selection, you go to boot camp for a week and get kind of formed up, and then go to the farm, which is literally a farm out in the French Pyrenees. And you march from your company's farm. Every combat company or company has their own farm and their own geographical region and territory. And you march back. And ours was about 60 kilometers or something like that. So you march 60 kilometers in 3 days. So when we were marching back, man, it was raining, cold. We're marching from the French Pyrenees farm area back to Quatrième, the 4th Infantry Regiment, which is where all instruction takes place in Castelnaudary. You're marching back from the farm to Castelnaudary, and that's through beautiful French country towns, over and down the hills, some off road, some on the road. And it's a trip, man. So you're marching with your FAMAS and your heavy-ass ruck and fatigues and all that. And the pace is quick. We were moving and grooving, and you're split up into like troops, like groups of 3. So about 15 guys. You're kind of marching like a platoon size. And you're marching, dude. And it was a powerful event when I think back, because it was raining and wind. You're on these long roads, and you're just looking out these stretches, just getting blasted in the face. And we would stop at these churches, man, which I found to be interesting. We stop at these churches, and dude, we'd sleep in the parking lots, put our little makeshift tents up, or just sleep on the ground and eat our MREs and just kind of talk about life in broken French. And that was kind of some interesting bonding moments. And I had some cool moments there, man. And the sun would just break. You'd be sitting there with some guy from Ukraine or Romania or Hungary or Thailand or wherever else. And we were all on this boat together, man. Just March au Crève, marching back. And we had a lot of guys get filtered out by this point, guys that quit, guys that failed some stuff. And then we were cruising, little Aspen nose. And that went on a few days. Now, the last day, man, it was super cold. I had gloves on, which I think was a mistake. Like, I like patrolling with gloves. It's just how I've always been when I manipulate a weapon system. I like having gloves on. And I was just doing that, man. And they got wet. It was right before we got back. And it was the worst day, man. Some guys had ponchos. I was like, fuck that. I'm not marching with a poncho on looking like I'm at a fucking baseball game. So I'm just getting blasted, soaking wet. And my hands got so wet and cold. My pinkies particularly. I remember this. And I was like, damn, dude, my pinkies are particularly cold. It was like a little bit of frost on them. And it was that last final push. Then we got there and we had to clean our weapons sitting outside in the rain still. Try to figure that out over a slight overhang. French Foreign Legion, gotta love it. Like, clean your weapons in the rain to make sure they're good to go. And dude, my pinkies still hurt to this day when it gets cold because of that day. That's how cold they got. And it was because I had that wet glove on. I should have taken it off and just had bare hands. But man, when you got back, that felt so good. And when we marched in, bro, there was a lot of pride, man, because that's something you see. And then after that march, a couple days later, they do the Képi Blanc ceremony. If I can find a picture, I'll try to post it here on before or after this vid. And dude, it was a cool feeling. And a lot of guys who finished that Képi Blanc march ended up not finishing the boot camp. We had another 3 months to go. But you're still shark shit on the bottom of the ocean, but just at least you got that Képi Blanc. And that thing you keep white, man. And throughout your time, that's what you wear, man. In fatigues, when you travel, you wear the Képi Blanc. When we deploy, we'd come off of planes with that on. And you had this little carrying case, man, that you carried that cover in. And it was something kind of cool and proud that we had. And just, I'll always remember that marching through those small French towns, and people would say, oh, bonjour, merci à vous. You know, thank you all. And it was cool, man, being received like that by the French citizens, usually the older folks, some of them who had lived through World War II. So it was cool, man, and I was proud. And when we marched back on to Castelnaudary, we saw some of the guys who had quit. Remember this Lithuanian kid? He was like 26 or 27, had been arrested, had done some prison time, but he had quit right before this. He goes, it's pas pour moi. It's not for me anymore. And I saw the look on his face, man, when we came in, and I could tell he wished he would have probably stayed. And we ended up kind of connecting a little bit some years later, but kind of lost contact. But that Képi Blanc march, man, it was a kick in the dick, kick in the nuts, fast pace. You got to love it. My sergeant I believe he was Ukrainian, and he was a tough bastard. And he was from 12e Rep, the parachute regiment, and he was tough. About 10 years of service, no nonsense guy. He was fair. He was très juste. He was very fair, but he was tough, and his pace was quick. So good times, man. We'll talk more about the Legion, man. But being up here at this time, especially this October time frame, brings back a lot of memories, dude. That cold, that wind, that marching, man. We're just marching into our destiny, man. Picking up that pen, writing that cool story, man. Appreciate y'all. It's going to be out here from Butte, Montana. The next video will be at home. We're moving up. We convoyed up here to Idaho, so we'll be posted up, getting the house ready and getting all that stuff done. So, man, it's been a good one, dude. It's all about living that deliberate life. Living those good stories, man. Are you living that life if people would want to read your story? If you're not, start doing it, man. Be smart. Out here.